in high definition from the station on your side. This is WAVY News 10.
Fires burn in the Great Dismal Swamp, and that's trouble for firefighters.
Well, challenges out here are really just pertain to access and then the fire behavior.
Smoke hovers over Hampton roads and creates problems for residents. But first, America's fallen heroes are home.
The remains of the 30 U.S. service members, including local Navy SEALs killed in Afghanistan, arrived by C-17 aircraft this morning. President Obama was there to pay tribute to the fallen troops at Dover Air Force Base. 10 on your side's Andy Fox joins us now from the phone in Delaware with tonight's top story. Andy?
Well, President Obama arrived with top Pentagon officials, including members of the Joint Chiefs of Staff and Secretary of Defense Leon Panetta. All of them then met privately with 200 family members of those who gave all.
As 10 on your side first reported this morning, 2 C-17 cargo planes left Afghanistan last night carrying the remains of those lost in battle Saturday, including our Navy SEALs. We got word early this morning that the 2 planes would touch down around 10:30 at Dover Air Force Base. At 10:25, the first cargo plane landed at Dover. At 10:35, the second C-17 landed as well. On board, the remains of at least 40, including 22 Navy SEALs, mostly from Hampton Roads. At a local hotel, we found these honor guards who will carry the caskets at the memorial service. They did not want to comment, but the hotel owner did. He has comforted family members in the past who have come to Dover Air Force Base, which is base for the country's largest mortuary.
They're very somber. They're proud of the fallen hero, but they're very somber. And we try to do at the hotel, we try to do what we can for them, but there's very little that you can do to console a mother, a father. Often they have a fiance or a wife coming through, and we just try to make them as comfortable as we can and give them some space so they can go about and do their grieving.
Service, we are told that Leon Panetta, the Secretary of Defense, had a request made of him by leaders of the Navy SEALs that the names of those Navy SEALs who are covert not be released for the security of their family. We are told from the Pentagon standpoint that this is the first time that such a request has ever been made. We'll have an update on what happened today at Dover Air Force Base coming up tonight on WAVY News 10 at 6. I'm Andy Fox, 10 on your side.
And people in Hampton Roads are giving what they can in honor of those fallen heroes who gave all. 10 on your side's Ava Hurdle now is in Virginia Beach tonight, where support is pouring into a local church, which is helping the families. Ava?
That's right, Tom. Wave Church here in Virginia Beach is collecting cash, household goods, and toiletries to help the families of the fallen troops. Mere hours after the news broke, Wave Church started an offering at Sunday services to collect money for the families affected by the tragedy.
We estimate that just through the offering alone from this past weekend, it'll be around $50,000. But you know what? The ripple effect of this is huge, and we know that lots of other people are just now hearing about this and want to get involved as well.
The church also wants donations of non-perishables, medications, and toiletries, among other items.
There's lots of little items that we would like to be able to put together for them, just things that, you know, when you're in another city, what is it that you need? And so we've been putting those together. Probably some of the greatest needs now has been restaurant gift certificates and gas cards, just those kinds of things.
He says the church wants to do its part to help in this time of need.
We're working through the Naval Special Warfare Foundation. We're asking that most of those donations get here by noon tomorrow, because obviously we are on a bit of a timetable so that we can get it to the families as soon as possible.
That's due in part, he says, to upcoming memorial services that will bring family members here from out of town. Now, by the way, CrossFit Gyms is planning a fundraiser next month with its proceeds going to the Naval SEAL Foundation. That foundation, by the way, has seen a resurgence in contributions of late, given this latest tragedy. We're live in Virginia Beach. Ava Hurdle, 10 on your side.
And you can find ways to support the efforts of local Navy SEALs on WAVY.com. Also learn more about the fallen heroes. Go to our homepage to read stories and see videos about each American who lost his life over the weekend.
This smoke from the Great Dismal Swamp fires is what many of you smelled and saw on your way out this morning. There's an air quality alert for people with breathing problems. Chopper 10 flew over the smoke yesterday, and pictures continue to come in to report it at WAVY.com. As the fire burns, Virginia Beach emergency crews say calls are up for reports of smoke. 10 on your side's Melanie Woodrow is live near the courthouse on Princess Anne Road, where residents say they've had a tough time dealing with that smoke today. Melanie.
Absolutely, even if you don't have asthma. And by the way, I just found out just moments ago that we are now up to 3,200 acres burning. You know, folks that work at this Harris Teeter behind me told me that the soot and smoke is so bad even inside that they've had to wash the floors in there this afternoon. It seems that a lot of people are having to deal with this in the Virginia Beach area. So strong, so much smoke that they're getting a taste and smell of what this wildfire would be like, even if they were up close. Chopper 10 provides the best view of the Dismal Swamp wildfire. From the ground in Virginia Beach, more evidence of how far the smoke is moving.
You couldn't see 100 yards in the distance. It was bad here.
We ran into Rick Owett and other shoppers off Princess Anne Road. Does that help?
No, not really.
A hand over the mouth might get you some relief out here, but it seems no matter where you go, the wildfire's reach is hard to escape.
No, and all the smells in the car and everything.
On the front lines, Cody Daniels has to deal with a denser set of challenges.
When I was just headed in a little while ago, I couldn't see the end of my truck. It was so thick.
Here it's not about avoidance, but rather access. What these engines can't reach, this all-terrain Marshmaster hopefully can. From the front lines, Daniels is trying to keep the fire from spreading. As of this morning, it was more than 23,000 acres. Flame-resistant gear and lots of water are key, but there are other safety concerns.
And what happens when the ground's actually on fire is a lot of the standing trees, it burns the roots out from underneath them, and then the trees fall down, which is also posing a hazard to the firefighters out there.
Back in Virginia Beach, Virginia Twyford said the smoke was irritating her already asthmatic lungs.
Oh, it just makes your chest tight and the smell's terrible. I hope it doesn't get any bigger.
Back live now in Virginia Beach, we want to give you a sense of what's going on here. You can see in this section of sky that we're showing you right now, it's blue, it's sunny. As we pan over just a little bit left, you can see a little bit of a different picture there where the smoke is sort of hovering here in Virginia Beach, just off of Princess Anne Road, that we're told it was a lot worse out here earlier today. So again, even if you're not the type of person that has asthma or any other pre-existing condition, it's still pretty bad out here. Coming up tonight, new at 6, we'll tell you what all of this means for the wildlife that's in the area of this wildfire. Reporting live in Virginia Beach, Melanie Woodrow, 10 on your side.
That's what everybody's talking about, that smoke out there. I noticed it this morning more so than any other time of the day.
I haven't smelled it at all yet, and obviously a lot of folks have, especially in Virginia Beach. But we did get it all the way on up to the eastern shore and the northern neck this morning. Now this is Super Duper 10 Live.
Well, it sounds like you had some smoke in your throat there.
No, just cooties.
All right.
Take a look at what's going on. Super Duper 10 Live, and we're not seeing any rain, but we are seeing on the radar where the smoke is, and it's starting to shift a little bit farther northward now here in the past couple of hours, moving into central Virginia Beach. Here's a look at earlier when that smoke was curling around through the eastern shore up toward the northern neck earlier on, but right now it's been this way and now it's starting to work its way a little bit farther northward into Virginia Beach. Now, we're going to see west to southwest winds for the evening. Winds become more northwesterly late, and really it's going to be predominant, a northwesterly wind. So our Virginia smoke problem moves to North Carolina. We'll tell you all about that and our cooler forecast in just a few minutes.
And you can see all the photos we've received of the Great Dismal Swamp fires on WAVY.com. Look at this. This is a special page. You just go to the link on our local news page.
3 Navy SEALs, all members of the same church in Virginia Beach, all killed in Afghanistan. Tonight, new at 5:30, how that church is helping to honor the memory of those fallen heroes.
Helping local wounded warriors heal. How hitting the road in this vehicle is aiding in their recovery.
And after Monday's meltdown, 10 is on your side, watching Wall Street, how the Federal Reserve is reacting to our troubled economy.
You're watching WAVY News 10 at 5 with Tom Shad, Nicole Ribas, and Super Doppler 10 Chief Meteorologist Don Slater.
Wall Street, looking for guidance from the Federal Reserve, didn't know where to go once it got that guidance. And here's where it ended up, clawing back much of Monday's losses. But the road to the closing bell was one bumpy ride. The stock market bounced back the day after the big drop as Federal Reserve policymakers met in Washington and decided against new intervention. The Fed will keep interest rates super low as a stimulus for 2 more years, but not to buy more U.S. bonds. The markets immediately dropped.
The Fed is out of bullets. Anything additional it can do would have a marginal consequence.
President Obama was in Delaware for the return of the remains of U.S. forces killed this weekend in Afghanistan. In Iowa, Tea Party Republican Michelle Bachmann blamed the president.
President Obama and the politicians have almost doubled the national debt in 5 years. That's why we're in trouble.
Republican candidate Tim Pawlenty charged the president made matters worse yesterday.
And he began to act like a manure spreader in a windstorm, throwing things in every direction without any real focus, without any real sense of solution.
Democrats slammed the GOP solution, much deeper spending cuts.
You cannot balance the budget of the United States with 9 to 14 million unemployed people, period. They are people who are not generating sales tax, income tax. They are folks in need.
Over Standard & Poor's New York office, a plane flew a banner. Thanks for the downgrade. You should all be fired. But the fear is S&P was right, and the worldwide crisis will get worse. And through this stormy summer on Wall Street, a silver lining. Oil closed below $80 a barrel, the lowest in nearly a year, and that could mean relief at the pump soon.
After nearly 200 years, the House is killing the messengers. To help ease the budget crisis, House leaders are ending the PAGE program that allowed high school students to serve as messengers and learn firsthand about Congress. It cost $5 million a year to run that program. The documents, bills, and messages once delivered by teens will now be sent electronically. The Senate so far is keeping its PAGE program. A minivan with a major mission.
Oh yeah, we're going to use the heck out of this.
No worries. It's nicknamed the Swagger Wagon. We'll tell you how it's helping our wounded warriors heal.
And Tennis on your side, helping you avoid those traffic troubles. What area of a major local interstate is shutting down tonight and why?
A new military transport vehicle was unveiled at Naval Station Norfolk this morning. The vehicle has no armor, no guns, and it wasn't made by a defense contractor. Toyota built the specially designed vehicle to help wounded warriors. 10 on your side's Art Kahn was there when the USO rolled out the Wounded Warrior Mobile.
It's been called the Swagger Wagon, but officially this specially designed Toyota minivan is the USO's Wounded Warrior Mobile.
Here we have a very focused USO that takes care of those extraordinary young men and women who are serving our country and serving our country well, have returned from Iraq and Afghanistan.
More than 32,000 service members have been wounded in the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan. Returning wounded warriors face many challenges at home.
We have members who are in wheelchairs, on crutches, casts, and so they can't do the same things that you and I can do every day, just get in their car and drive somewhere.
The Wounded Warrior Mobile has a specially designed remote-controlled seat to facilitate passengers with physical limitations, like this sailor who was wounded in a training accident.
It means so much to have this. It means independence. It means participating in social activity and trying to integrate back into, normal day-to-day life.
For many wounded warriors, returning to a normal life back home can be as traumatic as the injury they received on the battlefield.
It makes us not want to really participate in things and not really, be a burden on other people, and it's kind of an embarrassment at times,
The USO is hoping this van will provide wounded service personnel a vehicle for reintegration and socialization, both critical elements to recovery.
They restore hope, they give renewed purpose to a member's life.
And a little bit of the freedom they have sacrificed so much to protect. At Naval Station Norfolk, Art Kahn, 10 on your side.
And they look really cool. About 750,000 members of the military and their families visit one of the 11 USO centers in Hampton Roads and Central Virginia every year. Checkered Flag Toyota in Virginia Beach donated that minivan to the USO.
Sounds like we've heard this time saver traffic alert before. We have. VDOT's going to close part of I-264 tonight. A live look now from our WAVY jam cams, where beginning at 8 p.m., crews will close both the east and westbound lanes between Lynn Haven Parkway and First Colonial. They're going to replace signs removed last week when they closed the first time. There will be a detour in place. The interstate will reopen at 5 a.m. tomorrow.
Now, in high definition, your Super for 10 forecast with Chief Meteorologist Don Slater.
Overnight, we're going to see the wind shift throughout the area. So the Hampton Roads area, you're going to be looking a little bit better as far as the smoke. North Carolina, though, you're going to see a lot more of it coming up in the next couple of days. Here's what's going on right now. No rainfall into the area whatsoever. So we've got the ground clutter just cranked up looking for that smoke and be able to see it, again, right on in over the southern portion of the Great Dismal Swamp, southwestern corner of Chesapeake, just south of Lake Drummond, right on into here. And I'll get out of your way so you can see it. This has been floating along right about into here, but we have seen a little bit of a sign that it's starting to move a little bit farther northward into the central sections of Virginia Beach. So we'll have to watch for that during the evening hours. And in fact, during the evening hours, we could see it shift a little farther northward, right on up into here during the evening. But later on tonight, after midnight, wind's going to flip on over to the northwest. So it's going to drop right straight on down into North Carolina, Elizabeth City area, Moyock. You're going to certainly see some of that coming up a little bit later on. Now to the rest of our forecast, the weather and not the smoke. Here's what's going on. Mid-80s coming up by Thursday. Tomorrow temperature is going to drop just a little bit, and what we've got going on is see these lines of clouds on off to the west. These are little wind shift lines. They're going to drop on through, and they're going to shift our winds over, so that again is going to shift that smoke around, so more of a northwesterly wind flow by tomorrow morning. So with that right on into here, it's going to go dropping across northeast North Carolina in terms of the smoke tomorrow morning. Here's where things are by the noon hour tomorrow. Another wind shift line is going to be out there, and that wind shift line will also move on through. Now, in the meantime, late tomorrow, we're going to see some cloud cover with that wind shift line, and it could blow some smoke a little bit farther northward again, right on up into the Hampton Roads area. By midnight, winds are kicking in out of the north at 10 to 20 miles an hour. That's obviously not good for a fire, but for North Carolina, you're going to start seeing that smoke again, and then we'll see sunshine to start the day on Thursday with more cloud cover into the area by later on. Now, this chance of rain is really pretty minimal coming up during the day on Thursday. The big thing is going to cool off nicely for Thursday. Here's what's going on for tomorrow. It'll cool off a little bit for tomorrow. Tomorrow morning, and there's where we are by the 3 o'clock hour, 92 to 94. We move on through the overnight hours and into Thursday morning, 73 to 77, 78. By the noon hour, 83 to 85. And by 3 o'clock in the afternoon, around 76 to 79 degrees. So again, we're looking to the southeast, and you can see again there, it's not cloud cover here so much as it is that smoke going on. And right now through the area, we've got partly cloudy skies, well into the 90s, low to mid 90s throughout the area for right now, after highs into the mid to upper 90s. Last night's low was 78 degrees. Tomorrow it'll drop a bit. It'll be around 93 degrees for a high temperature. For Thursday, 84. And look at this, highs basically into the mid 80s from Thursday all the way into the first part of next week.
London in chaos and on fire. The injured victimized again. Hear what police are doing to stop the escalating violence on the streets.
And fighting to keep his job after airing lewd videos on the USS Enterprise. When will this embattled Navy captain find out if he'll keep his job? That story at 5:30.
For me, it's a sad day for London.
Britain's Prime Minister says 16,000 officers will be on the streets of London tonight. Police say they may use plastic bullets to try to keep peace. This was the scene in several London neighborhoods last night when there were 6,000 officers on the streets. Rioters clashed with police, set fire to several buildings, overturned cars. Look at that there, looted several stores. Authorities found one person shot to death. Police have made hundreds of arrests.
Let me first of all completely condemn the scenes that we have seen on our television screens and people have witnessed in their communities. These are sickening scenes.
And take a look at this video. Someone helped a boy injured during the rioting get up. Then they stole from his backpack. The violence first started Saturday night following a demonstration over the police shooting death of a 29-year-old father of 4.
Prescription problems. A lot of people get their meds through the mail, and a lot of drugs have warnings about the temperature. So, yeah, what about that hot mailbox? We're on your side with ways to beat the heat when it comes to your medication. Chesapeake police have a new weapon to fight crime. New at 5:30. We'll show you how they can record your every move.
Test check 1, 2, 3, 4 test.
Most medications have specific warning labels about temperature.
So can the heat in your mailbox damage the pills you get through the mail? Pharmacists say it's possible.
I would definitely encourage people who are receiving these medicines to inspect their medicines as much as possible.
Most drug makers have not conducted tests to see what 5 hours in your mailbox in the heat of summer do to your medications. Doctors say the heat can make them less effective, even cause side effects.
So the best advice, try to get your prescriptions the minute they hit your mailbox or have them shipped to your work address. Also check with your insurance company and see if you can pick up your 90-day supply directly from the pharmacy.